All right, good afternoon. It's a sad day that I have to be out here. With everything going on in today's world, nobody thought that this would occur here in Yuma. But on Saturday morning, late Friday night, Saturday morning, there was a shooting over at South J. Edwards Drive in which 7 individuals were shot, 2 which did not survive. We can identify the 2 individuals, one being a 20-year-old Andre Black Thunder, and the second one being a 19-year-old Danny Garcia. Of the 7, 2 victims were flown to Phoenix Hospital and are in stable condition as we know today. The other 3 were treated at release at different various medical facilities. We can confirm that this was a house party that was going on and that all individuals involved in this are known to each other. We have recovered several weapons at the scene. We are doing forensic evidence to test those weapons. We have found that we know that over 30 rounds were fired during this. And we do have investigative leads that we're following up on at this time. We can't confirm any suspects at this time because of those investigative leads. One thing that I would like to do is I'd like to thank some off-duty law enforcement officers who were in the area at the time, heard the shots, and immediately responded and rendered aid to the victims, and also tried to help secure the scene. There was also a nurse that was off duty that assisted in rendering medical aid to them. The biggest thing is I want the general public to understand that this was not a random event. Everyone knew each other. There was a party that got out of hand, and things happened. Do you have any questions? No questions? Yeah, there's a quick one.
Okay. I guess, is the homeowner going to be held responsible for the incident?
So the homeowners were actually out of town, and it was a relative that had a party there. As soon as they were contacted, they immediately responded back and have been assisting law enforcement since then.
Okay. So it was a relative of the homeowner?
Correct.
Was it their child?
That we can't confirm right now because we are still doing the investigation.
Chief, are
Yes, sir.
you still enlisting the help from the community for people that might have video or any information leading to further investigative resources?
Yes, if anyone does have a video, please contact our 78 Crime. If they have any information of what they might have saw that night, please call 78 Crime or come down here to the station. And we want to talk to everyone because we want to make sure that we get the people that are responsible for this and hold them responsible for such a heinous act.
And I know some people think the 3 individuals who were booked late that night are in connection with this crime. Has anyone been booked yet?
You're talking about 3 individuals that were arrested later in the night.
Yes.
That right now we cannot confirm whether they're related or not. There's on a separate case that was miles away from where this happened.
Okay. So you guys are still looking for this?
We are still doing investigative leads on who they are. Like I said, everyone's known to each other.
Is there any information thus far about what caused the events to transpire?
So we understand that there might have been an altercation inside the party. Based upon that altercation, the kids pulled out guns and started shooting at each other.
Is anyone going to be held responsible for underage drinking?
Again, that's part of the investigation that's ongoing. No other questions?
How many kids were said to be at the party?
It varies, but we've had stories of up to 100. It started out as a small party, and based on some social media postings, more people came than were expected.
And I know you estimated 30 rounds were fired. Is there any indication of how many different firearms were on scene?
We can't go into that right now just because we have to test to make sure the firearms that were on the scene were the ones that were used, and that we take the forensic evidence and compare those bullet casings to the guns.
We saw some commentary on social media about a noise complaint being called in prior and that a response was not made sooner.
Okay, so that night, it was a Friday night, there was a lot of parties going on throughout the Yuma community with all the graduations and stuff. So yes, there was a call. about 50 to 55 minutes beforehand, but the officers were also all tied up on other calls for service. There was no indication that there was any type of violence or anything going on, which would have made it a priority one call at that point.
The party was Saturday night, right?
I'm sorry, I keep saying Friday night. It's Saturday night, and I apologize. I correct myself.
And was this like an Audi? Like people sent out the address and anyone could just show up, or?
That is from our understanding, yes.
Okay.
What's the current condition of the injured people that were there?
Three were released by Sunday morning. 3 were released. 2 were flown to the Phoenix Hospital. They are in stable condition, and then we have 2 deceased.
Okay. And then somebody was giving us a tip that a video was circulating of one of the deceased, or picture or video. Are those? How does that work? Are people going to be in trouble for that? How does?
Again, that's part of the investigation that's ongoing right now, and to give out any of the information would thwart that investigation right now.
Did you say the 3 that were treated here were released?
They were released, correct.
When?
When? Early Sunday morning.
So there are 2 deceased, correct?
There are 2 deceased, 20-year-old Mr. Thunderbolt and 19-year-old Mr. Lopez.
And the one in Phoenix is stable now?
Huh? Excuse me, Black Thunder.
The patient in Phoenix is stable now?
Yeah, they are both stable in stable condition.
Okay.
What was the 20-year-old's name?
That would be, again, a correct, let me make sure I have that right. Andre Black Thunder. And the 19-year-old is Danny Garcia. No other questions? Again, I thank you for your.
I'm sorry, really quick. I'm responding to some of the questions
Sure.
here. Did Yuma Police Department recover alcohol at the scene?
I hate to say that, but it's still part of the investigation because we have to look at all the different motives that might have caused this.
So the shooting occurred between people at the party. It wasn't somebody coming to the party?
It was people were at the party that the shooting occurred at. Yes.
Can you, I know this is kind of off a little bit, can you explain what an Audi is for people who don't know?
So that's where somebody will post a social media post that we're having a party at this address, and come one, come all. And a lot of times, which is a dangerous situation because you don't know who's going to come, and then you have a bunch of groups where you thought might have been a 10 to 15 person gathering, turns out to be 100, 150, 200, and the person at the address can't control that.
Could this be gang-related, Chief?
Right now, we're looking at all motives, and that's one of the motives that we're looking at. We're looking at that it was over the fight. We're looking over that they may have been intoxicated. There's 100 different reasons why, but that's part of the investigation.
Could the homeowner face any charges at all?
Right now, that's part of the investigation.
Also, just who transported the individuals to the hospital?
So we have a mixture of both the fire department, but also some of them were transported by friends that were at the party that were taken to the hospital and transported that way. We have located those friends, and they are being interviewed. Good? Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.